Remember this card? Well, what if the Pokemon Company reprinted it, gave it a better first attack, and only allowed it to give up 2 prizes? That's basically what Greninja EX is. Yet another highly playable Stage 2 coming in Twilight Masquerade on May 23rd, Greninja EX is a Terra Pokemon. So not only does it have a built-in bench barrier, but it's fighting type instead of water. This means that, instead of immediately losing to Iron Hands EX Future Box due to weakness, its first attack one-shots the hands, as well as Iron Thorns EX and Arceus V-Star, making Greninja a potential nightmare for Lightning and normal decks. For a single water energy, Greninja EX deals 170 damage. That alone would be good. Nope, they had to go one step further. Ninja Blade also allows you to search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. It's literally Pidgeot EX's ability printed on an attack. Yeah, that card could be Iono'd or stamped on your opponent's turn, but it's still insane. It doesn't stop there though. Greninja EX's second attack spreads 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. And unlike Urshifu, which discarded all attached energy, Greninja just discards 2. So that could be a double turbo. Just keep in mind that Terra Pokemon on the bench, like Charizard EX, can't be damaged by Duplicate Barrage. I don't know why I'm bothering to tell you this, only an idiot would make that mistake literally every week. And more importantly, because of double turbo energy, Greninja will only spread 100 damage to those 2 Pokemon, not 120. Another major added benefit for Greninja is the new Froakie coming in Twilight Masquerade. For a single water energy, it can use a Call for Family attack, putting up to 2 Froakie directly onto your bench. However, because it only has 60 hit points, you'll want to do a 2-2 split with the 70 hit point Froakie. Otherwise, you're just inviting a Dragapult EX Ping KO on a bench Froakie. And if you're deciding on which Frogadier to run, the new one is better. It only does 20 damage, but can attack for a single energy and has the potential to paralyze them. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. Medicham has the thickest, juiciest thighs. Also, what about Boomerang Energy? Well, only a boomer would think Boomerang Energy is a good card for Greninja. Even though it seems to be made specifically for Greninja EX, I checked all of the top lists from Japan and not a single one played it. Ironically, I did see a single list playing Neo Upper Energy. The reason for not playing Boomerang Energy stems from the fact that it's too slow. You need to have a water and 2 boomers on Greninja. But how do you attach those Boomerang Energy? There isn't an Archeops here. It's much easier to manually attach a water energy, deal 170 damage, get whatever card you want, tank a hit, then spread 100 the following turn after attaching a double turbo. Personally, as someone who gets screwed over by prizes on a daily basis, I would prefer 3 double turbo in the deck, but Japanese lists just run 2. It does make sense. Greninja's first attack already 2-shots Charizard, and they can't one-shot you until closer to the end of the game. So you'll only be using the snipe attack once or twice anyways. And now the deck list. Just like Dragapult EX, the best partner for Greninja EX is Pidgeot EX. Between Greninja's attack and Pidgeot's ability, you have 2 separate ways to search for whatever card you want. Because of this, it means you can play a few different one-ofs. There's Enhanced Hammer to bump a special energy, Unfair Stamp to put them down to 2 cards if they take a knockout, Professor Turo to remove a damaged Pokemon or a Rotom V from the field, Airy to potentially discard Rare Candy, Mirage Gate, or Superior Energy Retrieval from your opponent's hand, and more. I found several different Greninja lists with Pidgeot, and the most successful played Rotom V to draw cards early, Unfair Stamp to limit their hand size, and 2 copies of TM De-Evolution to open up plays where you can spread twice to big Pokemon like Charizard EX, then devolve them and take easy prizes. But what if you want to remove the double turbo from Greninja and just focus on water energy? Well, there's 2 less successful builds for that, Palkia V-Star and Baxcalibur. Going the Baxcalibur route is a bit risky considering you'll have 2 different stage 2s in a deck that doesn't need a huge amount of energy, but Baxcalibur's still great. Get it up and running, now you can spread turn after turn, never taking a prize card unless you want to, and potentially taking a 4 prize turn at the end of the game. There's also a copy of Chien-Pao EX to take a big KO when necessary, Radiant Greninja to spread early, and 1 De-Evolution for shenanigans. Basically, it's just a Baxcalibur deck with Greninja EX shoved in there. Elsewhere, while Greninja EX isn't a water type, meaning you can't use Palkia's V-Star power to accelerate to it, Froakie and Frogadier are. So get water energy in your discard pile, then attach them with Palkia, and all of a sudden you're threatening the spread attack out of nowhere. A 1-1 Palkia line is definitely thin though, so you may want to bump it to a 2-2 if your prize luck is as bad as mine. Obviously, Greninja EX's biggest weakness is Manaphy. The easiest strategy is to just countercatcher and canceling Cologne it, just like Baxcalibur decks have done forever. Going a step further, most lists play a copy of Lost City. Now when you knock out Manaphy, it goes to the Lost Zone and can't ever be recovered. Greninja is another math-heavy deck, but as long as you spread the damage in the right places and stamp them to 2 at the worst possible time, it can be quite annoying. Despite Greninja EX apparently being the second strongest new deck from Mask of Change, which is the second half of Twilight Masquerade in Japan, it only commanded a 3% share of the top 16 in the first weekend of tournaments. It definitely saw better results than the Diplin Thwacky deck, which is doing surprisingly okay, probably thanks to its good Charizard matchup, but it's still quite low. Still, I expect it to improve in the coming weeks, so don't be surprised if it's number 2 when I count down the best decks of Twilight Masquerade next month. And make sure you're subscribed for all that Twilight Masquerade coverage I'll have in May, including the best cards, decks, and what you need to craft a Pokemon TCG Live for day 1.